goodness me, what a shot!
Sagosen setter det hen! Han setter den! De er i semifinale igjen!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Uninformed Handball Hour. It is Chris O'Reilly here with you, and it is Final Four time. The end of the season continues to bring big news. We've just had the European League last week with Melsungen winning the title. I think in last week's preview, that was probably the only club we didn't really consider as a main contender, but they went and won it, and we'll speak more about that next week as part of our build-up to the men's Final Four in Cologne, and looking back at the end of the Bundesliga season. But our focus here for today is the women's EHF Final Four taking place in Budapest this weekend. Double reigning champions Györ in there, a pair of French teams in Metz and Brest, and we have CSM Bucuresti returning to the big time 10 years after winning the title. They are back for just the third time. A fantastic achievement for them and for all four teams making it through to Budapest this weekend. Later in the podcast, you're going to hear from Mette Hansen, who is going to appear in her 8th consecutive EHF Final Four. She's won the title twice with Györ, appeared over the last couple of years with Metz, and she's part of the CSM Bucuresti team who qualified this season. So more from her later, and speaking about what it takes to come away with the title and her favourite memories from the Final Fours of the past. Before that, we're going to be joined by Aleksa Pavicevic to look forward to the final weekend. Look at the lineup of the two semi-finals, which sees CSM Bucuresti taking on Metz and Brest taking on the defending champions Györ. And so let's dive in to that chat with Aleksa, followed by Mette Hansen. Aleksa Pavicevic joining us, the mastermind behind women's handball, and has been working for the EHF over the course of the season as well. This is like your Christmas Eve, right, Aleksa? Women's Final Four on the way.
Yes, it's like a festival, like a holiday to me. Hi Chris, nice to join you always, and it's a beautiful topic to talk about. It's a pinnacle event of the season, and we are eagerly waiting to start.
Yeah, and we have Mette Hansen on the podcast as well, and she told me the same. Pretty much a festival, a party of handball. This event, incredible lineup this year as well. I think over the course of the season, when thinking about the road to Budapest, the potential quarterfinal lineups and who would go through. Of course, a lot of people I think would like a different team from different countries, but we have Metz up against CSM Bucuresti and Brest Britannia up against Györ. So two fascinating semi-final lineups, and just when I say those four team names and those two semi-final lineups to you, Aleksa, what are the kind of the headlines in your mind that pop up pre-Final Four weekend?
I think that this Final Four is I would say the first one in this decade that we have like really top four teams. I wouldn't say that any team is guaranteed a finalist, that we will have really two tough battles. But of course, the headline of whole season is CSM Bucuresti, and their way to the Final Four, and they are now come back there. I feel like I will remember this season by them.
Yeah, I just read a nice article this morning from Joachim Schutz on Stregspiller, looking back at 2016 and now, and kind of doing a little bit of handball then, handball now. It is incredible to think that it's been 10 years since CSM won that Final Four. Belo Gulden performance, the 15 goals in that final. Maisa Pessoa as well in goal. There's like so many, it really almost defined those early years of the Final Four. So it's really lovely to have them back after all of these near misses and frustrations over the years.
Yes, and we also read the same article, and I'm just for myself so happy that I was able to live that final, and that I was old enough to see it, and that I can remember it all too well. And that final was the peak, I feel, of the Final Four, and the way they won it, the penalties against Györ in their house. the goosebumps I feel, even if you are not from Romania, even if you are not CSM fan, I feel like everybody remembers that final and everybody thinks of when you say the Final Four, I feel like you think of that Final Four. I think they've said in the article, the peak of women's handball. I feel like literally the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And, considering they had one more Final Four after that, but it's been a big barren spell since then. It has been a perpetual question about them, and particularly in the second half of the season. We spoke about Bojana Popovic earlier in the season and the impact that she's had. What do you think the mindset of this Bucuresti team is heading into the weekend, now that they've made that breakthrough and, there's enough experience still in that team to realize that you can come in with the best of intentions, but nothing is guaranteed. So do you think there's a bit of freedom there for them coming in?
I've read some statements and I saw that they are betting their chances on their experience. Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. They are in terms of age and terms of more games played in advantage of Metz, but they're playing the team that's now a familiar foe in Budapest. It's been their third consecutive time, and they are very well familiar with MVM Dome, with the atmosphere there. When the Hungarian player comes out, the floor is trembling. And I would say that CSM is not experienced in that sense. That's why I think it's maybe disadvantage to them, because you have to be scared when you come into 22,000 people full arena. But what is their biggest advantage is that they have the woman who can solve all these mental problems for them, who knows exactly well how is to play in front of full arenas when everyone is against you or for you. So I think, yes, they are coming into something new. They have never experienced it, but I think Bojana will make it just perfect mental picture to overcome it very well.
You mentioned that the psychological aspect, and I think that has to be considered with Metz as well. They've got the experience of coming to Budapest, but a little bit like Esbjerg, they've had some terrible experiences. And their collapse in the semi-final last year, where they looked like they were cruising towards the final before falling to Odense. I mean, if for anyone who's not a top level elite athlete, I think it would be really hard to get over that. And maybe even for some of those top level elite athletes in the squad, they might not have been able to get over that. Do you think there is a little bit of baggage there for Metz coming into this?
Yes, I think, maybe when the game starts, you maybe don't think about it, but pre-game you always think about it. Media constantly asks you about your history, your psychological moment, and then when we look at the history, you also you have the CSM who haven't proceeded through the quarterfinals 7 years. Then in the big history you have Györ, who lost so many finals of the EHF Champions League. But what I see difference from this year compared to the last ones is that this time I feel like Metz is not the huge favorite. We had first 2 years ago Bittenheim and last year Odense, and everybody was thinking Metz is in the final. Metz will cruise through the pitch. And this time it's not like that. I mean, we all maybe even see CSM as the finalists if someone asks us. So I think that can be a little relief for Metz, because for the first time in 3 years they are not considered, they are the finalist.
That's a really good point. I like that for them maybe a little bit, coming into it as maybe not underdogs, but it is almost a toss of the coin between the two teams. Like, considering that when we see how tight it is on paper between the two of them coming in. Metz maybe over the last few years one of the most consistently strong teams against CSM, who are one of the recent resurgent teams and looking at the top of their game. Do you see one area of the court that you think will be absolutely decisive in deciding this one?
Absolutely the defense. I think both teams are on the top of the defense, but I saw some stats that Metz is even better than CSM in the defense, which was for me shocking, because since Bojana came, it was their main weapon. Okay, CSM won the games with 36 plus goals, but they won also the game with 40 goals overall. So I think that will be the crucial. I think both teams will play the good defense. I think the solution will be who cracks it better or whose goalkeeper will be on the level. Which, for example, Metz side, I remember it well. All their goalkeepers, and they've been changing, and they had top goalkeepers didn't have success on Final Four. That's something also historical and psychological, but let's see. Bunsen is making a debut on the Final Four, so let's see. But I think the defense will be like top of the top in this game.
Yeah, that the pair of goalkeepers making debuts at this level for Metz, which is quite surprising, given that even though like at an international level they haven't enjoyed medal success recently, but both have shown to be capable on their day of being among the very best in the world, which is, it seems like very smart recruiting from the Metz side. Also, the speed of the potential counterattacks for Metz will probably be the team that we would associate with it. But for CSM, they have got some very speedy Danish wingers available for them as well. So maybe that is something we have to look out for as well, together with that strong defense, if teams can get turnovers and unleash some easy quote-unquote goals for the two teams. Do you have a favorite in this semi-final?
My heart says, of course, CSM. I'll be in blue in the stands, but I think it will be super hard. I mean, if I see what CSM did whole second half of the season, I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna crush them, but it's Metz. It's never over with them. They fight 60 minutes. I remember the game against Györ, they were trailing, I don't know, maybe 7-8 goals, and they came back to 2. And they're such a speedy players. Maybe I would also give advantage there in their speed. Okay, yes, CSM has speedy wingers, but when are you coming back to defense? Petra Vamos is super fast. Yeah. Let's see if she can break the defense in that speed, in that first tempo of the attack. But I would give it to CSM because of the flow. It's their time. It's the last time of this generation. 8 players are leaving after the summer. I'm betting on Elizabeth Domoregie to show MVP performance. I feel like she wants to leave Romania full of happiness. So I'm also... What I think psychologically maybe bothers them, Metz recently lost the French championship. Okay, CSM did also both titles, but it was pretty much long ago. It was even before Esbjerg, and Metz recently lost it, so you can also think about that. But my prediction is CSM Bucurest, and my heart says CSM Bucurest.
Okay, then moving on to the other semi-final then, which for a lot of people on paper might seem a bit more straightforward, but 5 years since these teams met in Budapest, Brest managed to get the victory in the semi-final on that occasion. A lot has changed for both teams in those years, as is often the case at this level of European women's handball. Also a big generational change on the way for Brest. So nice that they could get back to this level as well before this kind of generation comes to an end.
Yes, they managed the amazing thing, but the one thing is the same, that Anna Gross is in the team and that she knows very well what happened 5 years ago. Yep. That semi-final, okay, maybe we all see Györ as the finalist, but you can never rule out a team that was the first in that group of that sweep through the quarterfinals, that has Anna Vyakireva. For me, maybe it's a hot take, but the most influential player in the world. If she has a day with 13 goals as well in assists, you are losing it. You cannot stop it. So I wouldn't rule out Brest. They know how to fight well. They have French internationals on all positions, so they know how to win even Olympic golds. But Györ is Györ. I remember last year I was there. The floor is trembling when they are entering the field with their fans. It's their 8th player. They are on the advantage all the time, like they have a player up. But we will see. I don't know. Maybe it can happen better. I feel like nobody's wanting Györ to win except the Györ citizens. I feel for women's handball it will be really good if Györ doesn't make it this time. I know the players wouldn't say that from Györ. They want the three-peat and everything, but for women's handball I feel like we need a different winner this time. It's been sixth Final Four of this decade and we have only 2 winners. So let's hope Brest can make it, or maybe some other team.
What do you think? What do you think has to go their way in this regard? I mean, when you say you were listing out the strengths of this Brest team, the star players. I mean, Vekareva, I fully agree. We've seen what she has been able to do almost single-handedly on this court in previous years. The experience of the likes of Gross and the rock solid nature of this team. There may not be like the very, very best players in every position, but there's players you would trust at this level. So do you think they need to go, above and beyond themselves to get a win over Györ? Or do you think, a bit of an off day like we have seen from Györ this season might be enough?
I feel like the maximum capacity of Brest is on. If they put 100%, they are on a really good level. Let's say I feel like she's a bit underrated. Oriana on the line. Maybe we always say Sara Bukti or Poleta Fopa in front of her, but she's really, really good, especially in defense. So I think if she and all the others put 100%, it can lead to something good, but I still feel they need a bit of a bad day from Györ. You have to stop Dione, you have to stop Bruna, then you have to hope that Hatadu Sako will not make some crucial save in 15 minutes. In 50 minutes, so everything. But I think the main point for them is to have Anna Yakireva on 110%. If they have her, everything can happen.
You mentioned Sako there, who I think has shown in the last few years for club and country that she can be this absolute showstopper of a player, maybe in a way that you don't find from other goalkeepers, because she can make it look easy. She in a way almost playing like kids when the way she shuts down opposition teams. Do you think that could be the crucial thing over the whole weekend? Final fours are often about goalkeepers, right?
Usually the MVPs are the goalkeepers, especially in the early ages. But I don't know, for Hatadu Sako, she can miss all the balls 45 minutes, and then when it's crucial, she's making that save. You don't know how, and that's for me, when she enters in the crucial period, I'm like, she's making the save as if the new energy comes in her. I don't know. She's been crucial for so many years, as you said, for both country and club, and she has put some performances amazing lately. But I saw some statistics, and when I think of this season of Györ, I'm more thinking of Sophie Semmer as someone who was stable. She played so many good games. By all the goalkeepers, she's the best in terms of percentage. She's close to 40%. So, and of course, Sandra Toft made her comeback recently. So they have three super solid goalkeepers. They have, as I mentioned, Sophie Semmer, who maybe can put 60 minutes performance, and then if they need Hatadu Sako to make problems for the opposite team, she's there as well, top. So I think in terms of goalkeeping, they are the best team, and they have some quality in there.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that. And it seems like all of these, golden moments for Györ over the last decade or even longer now. You think back in the goalkeeper trios, it's rarely a duo with these teams. They always have that proper strength and depth, and something they've never underestimated in that regard. The way you are talking about it, you're feeling like I'm going to hold off on the final question of predictions. You can start formulating, I'm sure you already have. But as you were saying, the fact that Györ are the dominant side when it comes to picking up the trophy at the moment, and that the handball world maybe is hoping for someone else to make that breakthrough. Do you feel like Györ are overall the outstanding favourites here, or do you think that gap is fairly close between them and the other three teams?
I think that's a good pre-question for the final predictions. I think Györ has three players per position that are world class, and I feel that gap will never be overtaken. But I think CSM Bucuresti, in terms of team, in terms of flow, consistency, is so close to them. But I think also, I don't think Metz is there yet. I think Metz has to be on 110%, and then Györ has to have a bad day, so Metz can beat them. But I think CSM Bucuresti is a bit close. But you can never say that anyone is better than Györ in terms of quality on paper, because when you have 4 left backs that every team would like to have in their roster, and that single of them would be the first choice, you cannot match that.
Yeah, that's true. I want to take you back a little bit to that article we spoke about at the top of the chat from Joachim Schutz on strikespiller.com about this then and now. And you said it yourself, there was like a golden moment or golden time in women's handball. Now, here in 2026, Joachim mentioned that like these superstars that we've grown up with in, the time of social media have either retired already, or are on the way out, or in the case of Bella Gulden, who made a very temporary comeback for Sävehof this year, but that it feels like a bit of a different landscape now, where we do have a lot of like really like star players in the sport. I think maybe some not dominating as much, or maybe we have to consider that Henny Reistad is just has gone above and beyond, and maybe makes that second tier of players a little bit less special than I think maybe we thought from 10 years ago. I don't know what your perspective is on that, and where these where the golden girls are at the moment in women's handball.
I think that maybe Henny Reistad is giving us some advantage in terms we can watch her. She's amazing. She's playing this sport differently, but also I think she's a disadvantage because all the other girls are in shadow. You have so many quality players, but for example, no, she's not better than Henny Reistad, and that's true, that's fair, and I think that's a bit of a disadvantage, and we have so many. For example, if some of these players happened 10 years ago, we would think of them as the queens, as the top of the women's handball. So I don't know. When I remember that this 10 years ago, and when I compare, for example, these two Final Fours and the teams that are competing, I feel like 10 years ago we had obvious stars. Like in Budućnost you have Neaguin Bulatovic, in CSM you had Gulden, in Györ you had Amorim and Gorbic, and etc. And I think this year we have stars, let's say, on the same level in terms of popularity, but I feel like it's more the group. All these 4 teams are completely based on the system. We have system, we are playing what we were taught, what we were said, and maybe we lack these. I don't think we will see 15 goals from anyone this Final Four, and we are missing that everybody knows about that Bella Gulden's performance. It was really the golden age, and that's what I may be missing. I'm missing Bella Gulden, I'm missing Nike Groth this year. The only slight of that we saw in, for example, Marketa Jarabkova in Vipers or Henny Reistad in Esbjerg. That's, for example, what I'm missing. A character that I can look up to. Now it's all about the system. Don't go out of the system. Do what you are said. Okay, we are looking at beautiful handball maybe in terms of strategy, but we are missing Bella Gulden and Niki Groth, for example, this year around.
Very, very well said. And the fact that Henny is not there this year, that eliminated in the quarterfinal, maybe kind of brings the playing field a little bit more even in that regard, and it could open the door for someone else to make the weekend about herself. Is there somewhere there you think who can get maybe not a 15-goal performance, but put together something in this team structure that all these teams have, and have an outstanding weekend, or players that you are particularly excited to see this weekend?
For me, 2 girls that can pop up out of these systems are definitely Györ's Dione Hauscher. I think she's player capable of that, and she completely grown up. For me, the best right back in the world right now. And of course, CSM's Elisabetta Moragie. Even though they have systems, she's always the one a bit stepping up than the others. And I think she will give everything for the final and everything for the title. So I feel like maybe if some bad times happen for CSM, she will be the one to push up in attack. So I think these 2 will pop. And of course, Anna Vyakireva, as I already mentioned, for me, the best player that can decide the game full by herself. So let's say these 3. Depends on who will reach the final.
Well, then that leaves us to that question: who will reach the final, and who will pick up the title? I think there's a head answer and a heart answer. You're allowed to say both if you wish.
Yeah, let's say objectively, I think the best two teams in the world, and some also I've heard Mette Hansen mentioning that is CSM and Györ. And I think that final would be very well deserved, and we would see amazing handball. And let's see if that defense of CSM can attack the Györ's attack. And I would say that will be the final, the most logical one. But let's see if the French teams can make something. And of course, my heart would say CSM the winner 10 years after with the Montenegrin trio. But let's say that head also says CSM Bucurest. I would love to see the other winner.
CSM against Györ in the final would be something quite special, right? I think that is true.
10 years later. I see
later.
I see this trend on the social media, like when this 2016 is completely back. It would be completely back.
Aleksa, thank you so much for that. A lovely insight into what should be a fantastic weekend. We'll certainly enjoy it, and I hope you get to enjoy it to the fullest as well while you're there.
Thank you, Chris, and let's hope this weekend will be unforgettable.
Hello.
Hey, Mette. You're so punctual.
Yeah, of course.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Very good. It's a familiar week for you, huh?
Yes, it's amazing. Yeah. I cannot believe it.
The week leading up to returning to Budapest, an incredible run of appearances at the Final Four. Does these days leading up to traveling to Budapest, to the event, kind of have a familiar feeling for you now? Do you have a bit of a routine at this point?
A routine? No, not like a routine, but of course I don't take this for granted, that's for sure. We work very hard with the club to get here, and of course maybe I know how the weekend will be with everything around and this kind of thing, and maybe the hotel and stuff like this, but in the end, we have to play 2 games and hopefully we win both.
There are, of course, a lot of experienced players in CSM, players who at different points have experienced the Final Four. But has that been part of the conversation among the team as well for some players who haven't experienced it yet? What to look forward to, how to, deal with everything around it? Because here we are having an interview just a couple of days before. There'll be a lot of media attention as well on the Friday and things like that. Some things that maybe some players aren't so used to.
Yes, I think we have talked a little bit about it. But most of the players here, as you say, is also experienced in other ways with national teams and this. So I think they know what it's about with all the interviews and this kind of stuff. But of course, this weekend is so compressed, of how you say, like, it's so intense, it's so few days that a whole season can be decided, so I think we just talk about like 2-on-2 or how we're feeling and what to expect, with this kind of thing.
How is your approach to that mentally now, having gone to this event so many times and also experienced so many similar final weekend events for the national team, having your whole championship, your whole season boiling down to maybe 28 hours. How do you cope with that, maybe in comparison to how you did 7 or 8 years ago?
I would say my role on the teams has maybe got bigger than my first years in Györ, but I think it's special every year, and I try to live in the moment and try to take everything in when I'm there, because I know I don't take it for granted, and I know it's very difficult to get to the Final Four. So I also want to enjoy when I'm there and do my best when I'm there.
Is there a certain aspect of it that you really, that comes to mind when you say about enjoying it, like soaking up the atmosphere, or a certain element of the weekend that really sticks out to you?
I think it's like this, it's a party of handball, if you can say like this, like when you enter the arena and the feeling you get when you see all the fans in the stands and everyone is there to cheer for good handball. And I feel this is maybe the best feeling, like kind of feel this the whole weekend, that the atmosphere is there and the excitement for everyone and who's going to win and how will it be. And for some it's the first time, and for some they've been there more times, but like the whole weekend, it just goes so fast when you're there, I feel.
in terms of getting to this point this season, can you take me through a little bit of how you've experienced this this season with CSM Bucuresti? Of course, you came to Romania, I guess, with, you know, or under the pretense of achieving this. So much expectation with this club, a lot of history of kind of missing out in the last decade as well, which I'm sure you've been very close to with other teams. How do you think the season has gone in general? Because it seems from the outside like it's been a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, I think you're right. It has been a roller coaster. I don't think in the middle of the season that anyone believed we will go to the Final Four. I think there was a big change when Bojana came, and she really made the team work in the same direction, and we started playing very good, I feel. And maybe it was lucky for us that our group, everyone beat each other. And it was not like one team or two teams just went straight up in the quarterfinal. So I feel there was maybe also more things that helped us in the way, but I also think we put in the work, from when Bojana came, and we really saw the path she was taking us on.
And in the handball world, like all of the journalists and people talking about your journey as a club, everyone's been trying to kind of pinpoint, you know, what the major difference that Bojana brought to the team. You know, whether it was purely tactical or it's like spiritual and energy wise, what she brings. I mean, you've also experienced her with the Danish national team as well, and she is this incredible personality. What is your take on how she helps to send this team in the direction that you've gone on?
I think there's more things, like you say, the tactical level she brings to the table. I think it's very good. And also just this energy she brings, and expect from us when we play that we play with the heart and we cheer for each other. And yeah, she has this way of people following her. And I think that's a quite unique gift to have, that the whole team, if she say we go left, the whole team go left, you know, and I think that is maybe the best thing she's brought to the team, that everyone goes in the same direction.
I guess there's been a number of players and coaches over the years that you've had. I'd say particularly with the Györ years, that you've felt like when you're a part of that team, and I would even credit you as being one of those people when Györ were enjoying a lot of success, that, you know, when you have these people on your side, you almost feel a little bit more secure going into a weekend like this. Is that fair to say with Bojana?
Yeah, we know we have her on our team, and we are very happy for that. But of course, she cannot play for us. And I also know this weekend is about the team who can put two good games together in less than 2 days. You know, it's in such a short time that these two games are decided. So you don't have time to do fuck ups. You know, you have to be there 100% in 2 games.
Yeah, you've experienced, I guess, quite a range of Budapest weekends over the last few years alone, and last year quite a shocking one as well. Is there something you can pinpoint in terms of knowing, maybe easier to say in reflection with these teams rather than looking forward to, but when you're looking back at it, saying, okay, yeah, this was what made our team ready to have those 2 special games in a weekend?
I think there's more things about this, of course, the tactical level, you have to be ready and prepared, and then the physical part, it's the end of the season, everyone is tired, and but you just want to perform as good as possible. And I think those teams who prepare best, in a way, not too much pressure, but making too hard up to the weekend, with the team with most energy, I think they are in a very good position. And you could say we 3 teams out of 1 is traveling, you know. So it's already there. Györ has an advantage that they can just take the bus for 2 hours and they're there, you know. So in this we have to be smarter and figure out what we can do instead of this.
How do you find the energy has been in CSM since qualifying? Because as we said, they've had a disastrous kind of basically decades since enjoying that incredible title win 10 years ago. Now, a lot of frustrations and this like almost brick wall of the quarterfinals, which you managed to get over in a spectacular way. And I guess also quite a special way for you as well, given the opposition, both Danes and Norwegians on that opposition. But how was the reaction within the club and with such a passionate fan base as well to finally get that breakthrough? Did you feel like that was something maybe weighing on the club and that was lifted when you got that win?
For sure. And also because it was against Esbjerg, they had met so many times, before in the quarterfinal, and they didn't manage to win. So I felt this was something special also for the fans, that finally we could see we had a chance. Like one goal in Esbjerg, it was okay. It's a away game. It's a tough place to play. And we knew we have a good home court and we feel good there. And we just had to give it our best shot. And then we played amazing and the whole arena was on fire. So in this way, it was very nice to give this back to the fans. Of course, I have not known them for that long as some of the other players, but you could just feel the whole electricity in the arena, that it was crazy.
And there really seems to be a lot of like pure love for the team from the fan base. And then, of course, in Romania, there's maybe a mix in terms of the way that sport fans follow the teams. But with CSM, there seems to be a lot of love, which I think you've experienced a lot in your career in Györ and Metz as well. Is there something that you can almost compare and contrast with these clubs and maybe with Bucharest being a capital city as well? Do you find there's maybe a bit more privacy day to day, but then when you're close to the arena, everyone knows who you are?
The fans is what makes this amazing to play. I've been lucky to play 3 different places where the fan base has been quite extraordinary. So yeah, but for sure, I feel it's a bigger city to live in here than the other 2, which is also nice, actually, that it's not like small, but I think it gives different kind of vibe, There's also something special with the small cities, that everyone knows who you are, and like you just have this feeling of fighting for the whole city, and everyone is there to cheer you on when you play. And so it's like different feelings, but still amazing atmosphere in the arena.
Yeah, and it would be great to see hopefully a nice contingent of Romanian fans in Budapest over the weekend. I'd say they're working hard to get those spare tickets rolling around. As you said, you've played with 2 of the other clubs who were playing in this Final Four, and Brest, I think you would know quite well from your Metz days. Are you a bit of a handball nerd? Are you following the other teams in the last year, kind of seeing how they're doing? Of course, you know everyone inside out, but how much of a follower of the other teams are you in during the season?
I follow a little, also because of course we play against each other, but I like to see my old club doing well, and I also cheer for them, except when I play against them, of course. But I follow. I like to keep me updated on what's going on in the handball world. And
what do you think of the runs that the other teams have had? I mean, you're going to be playing Metz first on Saturday. Very quick reunion, big event for them. What do you make of their journey to Budapest?
Yeah, but I think they have been on a journey for quite some time now. But I think the last couple of years they have really put themselves in a high position in women handball. And I think they have a really good team. And I think they are one of the best teams in this Champions League to do counterattacks. Of course, this we need to stop. We have to put the fast shoes on in this game.
Yeah, you have a couple of speedy players as well in the wings. But besides that, the style, it's quite an interesting style matchup there. Is the focus very much on just trying to navigate that semi-final in terms of your preparation at the moment, or are you allowing yourselves to look at all 3 potential opponents?
No, we have mostly used time on Metz. We didn't see so much yet of the other teams. It's also like you have to figure out how much energy you use on that now compared to you also have league games and this kind of things. But I think we have done it in the right way so far.
Of course, when you get to this stage of the season, also with a very expectant club like CSM, everyone is battling for the title win at this point. Great that you got that breakthrough to bring the team to Budapest. But is there anything besides lifting that trophy on Sunday that you think could be considered a successful weekend for the club, or for someone like yourself, is it purely win or nothing?
Of course, you want to win when you're there, but the first step is to win the first game, and then everything can happen. I must say, of course, if we don't win any games, I will be quite disappointed, but I also know that it's 4 really good teams and everything can happen this weekend. I just hope that we will be the champions in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have your teammates or anyone else kind of focus on the fact that you pretty much qualify every year since you first got to Budapest, which is incredible, except for the COVID year. Are you seen as some kind of lucky charm now in Romania?
Some called me that after we beat Esbjerg at home, but I don't quite believe it. But it is it's quite special that I managed to do it, and I'm proud of that. But I try to tell the girls it's the team who does it. It's not only me. If
you can think of one kind of moment or experience from all of these years going to Budapest, back and forth over the years, your third different club, is there something that you will take to your grave as the standout moment so far for you? I think maybe it must be the first year and lifting that trophy. It was something special. Like, I don't think you cannot imagine how much this means to me and to everyone who tried to win, to stand with that trophy in the end. It's quite an amazing feeling, and I will pray and do my best to be able to do that again this weekend. Well, I wish you the very best of luck. Hope you all stay happy, healthy and fit. Yes, and safe journey to Budapest. And good luck this weekend. Take care. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Well, thank you to Mette and to Aleksa, 2 fantastic chats. And that sets us up very nicely for the weekend to come. The action in Budapest taking place on Saturday and Sunday on EHF TV or wherever you have it broadcasted around the world. We'll be back next week to look back on that Final Four and start the build-up for the men's Final Four in Cologne. Alex and myself will be busy celebrating the wedding of a handball friend of ours, an old teammate and long-term friend, Donal. He and Julie getting married on Friday, so wishing them the best of luck for the big day, and we'll catch you again next week. Goodbye.